What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for episode 13 of Tigers Franchise. We're here at December 17th. The winter meetings have just started. We've made a little movement since the last time we've checked in, but we're going to make some progress together here on this episode as we move through free agency, get deeper into the international amateur free agent scouting, and maybe pull off some more trades. And I say more because we have done one, which I'll get to in just a moment. Do have a little checklist here that we're going to go over. First things first, I don't remember if I shared this, and if I'm just going to be honest with y'all, which I always am, I was too lazy to go back and look and see if I brought it up in a previous episode. So I'll bring it up now, but we retired Justin Verlander's number. You can see here in 2024, actually just back in November we did it. And I don't even know if it was automatic, to be honest. Maybe it was. I fully co-sign, obviously. I didn't write this little write-up here, so I assume that's game driven. And again, I'm 1,000% on board with it. JV, for those that don't know, is my favorite pitcher ever, so of course I have no issues there. But if I didn't bring that up, I wanted that to be known, so we will not have any more number 35s. Now we will get to the deal. Didn't have a huge checklist before getting into the trade. This trade kind of came to us and we altered it a little bit, but then got it done. KC came and knocking and said, hey, let's make a move. I said, okay, we can do that. Let's start here with Jackson Kowar. We get Jackson Kowar and Derek Curiel for 3 prospects: Danel Montas, Ricardo Mendez, and Garrett Apker. Now, we don't have a good farm system, right? That's been one of our issues right now and something that we want to improve, and gives me a little bit of pause about our sustainability despite making the playoffs last year, etc., etc. Well, you can play it 2 ways with that. You can play it where, okay, we want to keep every prospect we have around, take as many bites at the apple as we can in developing some studs, or consolidate some of what you have and turn it into a better prospect. And that's the path I've taken here with this trade, getting Curiel for these 3 prospects and getting Kowar thrown in, who's fine, but he's just not a prospect. So let's look at the guys we gave. Danel Montas, he's got a 30 movement. Let's move over here to our scout. 35, not much better. He does have a chance to be 55-55 on the stuff and control, which would be pretty solid. And from KC's standpoint, I can see why they think, hey, that's not too bad. He can live in our park. And frankly, he could probably finagle a role of some sort in our park with these skills too. And of course, at 22, there's always a world where he improves the movement. And all of a sudden, if you're talking 45 movement with the 55 control and stuff, well, then you got yourself a nice starter. But where it's at right now, that's a lot of ifs. And I wasn't really too concerned with including him. So he was kind of the first piece they wanted, along with Mendez, who has, 60 range, solid outfielder, good speed profile, good small ball profile in general, can bunt, sack, bunt for a hit, not too much with the bat. So kind of your defense only type of guy. I was going to say defense first. It's really a defense only situation with Ricardo Mendez. And then Garrett Apker was somebody that I added to the deal as we kind of shuffled it around. And you can see Apker with a 55 stuff, 40 movement and control with the chance to add a little bit of control there. And he's got 55 stamina, so he is a starter. We had him slated for AAA this year after a AA season. That didn't go very well, but I was kind of age promoting him a little bit. But not a huge loss. Like, these are okay prospects with some potential, and I can definitely see a scenario where their scout sees them as better, particularly with Montas. If they have Montas again at like a 40 movement right now with the chance to be better, well then, of course, they like that guy for their park, like I was saying. And then even Mendez, he's got capable defense and speed. If they just got another 5 or so on a couple of these categories on the hitting profile, then again, they're seeing him better. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. Even as is, it's whatever, because we got Derek Curiel here, who I think is a much better version of Mendez, basically, right? Let's just compare the 2 outfielders, since that's who we traded. And you look at the potential, and the bat is not even close. Basically 50s down the line for Curiel, except for a 40 home run power. And it's more 40s and 45s down the line for Mendez with a 35 home run power. Mendez does have a little bit of a better speed profile. I'm not so worried about that. And then the defense, favors Kirill with 70 range. I mean, he's just better, right? This is a top 5 pick from the 2024 draft. We were looking at him. When did we pick in the first round? I can't remember. He was on my list. I don't remember the specifics of it, but he was on the draft targets list. I just shifted him over to the top prospects one because this is a guy that we were absolutely looking at. So I thought this was kind of an easy deal. I'll get back to Kowar in just a moment. I do want to go to the draft. I forget who we drafted. Oh yeah, that's right. Conrad Kaysen, and we had the 3rd overall pick. So Kirill was in the mix, and now we end up with 2 of the guys in the top 5. And I don't think it was an extreme cost. I feel really good about this deal, trading those 3 guys for Kirill and getting Kowar thrown in. Now, pitching is a bit of a strength at the major league level right now, at least in terms of some depth. I'm looking around for the OOTP gods so they don't hear me and just injure 40 of our guys. And yes, I will make that joke probably every time because it happens all the time. Okay? You know, I understand beating a joke into the ground and getting tired with a cliche, but if the game didn't do it every single time, the second you start to get, you know, confident in your pitching depth, they undercut you. If that didn't happen so often, maybe I wouldn't make the joke as much, but it definitely happens. But anyway, Kowar joins our group, and what I mean by the depth really is, you know, we're rocking 17 guys right now. Uceta and Pacheco are both still injured for quite a while. Put them on the IL mentally. They just can't be during the offseason. That cuts it down to 15, which means we still need to get rid of 2 guys. And if you look up and down this list, there's not 2 obvious answers to that question. So it's a good position to be in here as my itch moves from my head to my eye somehow. You ever have that where you scratch one spot and then another spot starts itching with like the same intensity? That was weird. But anyway, happy to bring Jackson Kowar on board. 55, 55, 45 with 50 stamina, so he can start. Right now he's angling for like a stoppers type role, which he had in Kansas City, 77 innings in 56 appearances with a 2.81 ERA and a 1.08 whip, 16% strikeout minus walk. Hell of a season. Couldn't believe that he was thrown in because it was the 3 guys for Kirill, and you know my ass, little greedy Gus, said, let me see if I can get something else, and I just went for Kowar. That was the first pick I tried, and they said yes, and I was like, holy crap. And I will say, I didn't even try for anything else after that. As much as I am a little greedy Gus, I didn't even think that adding anything else made any sense, and then we start to get into rip-off territory. Now, you may have some feelings about this one, thinking that we got too much the better of it. When it comes to prospects, unless it's just like such an egregious rip, then I'm gonna take the ones that I can get the best end of it sometimes. As we see, oh jeez, I got this Spurs OKC game on for the tall affair between Wemby and Chet, and a little scuffle breaking out there. No, sorry. But anyway, that's the move that we made right now. And you see over here on the hitting side, we're looking a little light with just 12 hitters. Obviously, we will figure that out. We'll shift out some of those pitchers in for hitters. But let's continue and look at the free agent check-in, because some things have definitely moved on that front that we need to get into. So let me take you to my offers here to show you everyone that I've offered to. And you can see we had a host of minor league deals and only 2 deals for guaranteed locked-in money. And that was Kenta Maeda on a $3 million deal. And you know what? I took y'all's advice. I can't remember who said it in the comments, but there was a comment. I think I'm going to find it right here, saying, you know what? Maybe we just go for Mendez, because I had kind of glossed over him and said, yeah, you know, he looks good, but he's another left-handed outfielder. Do we really need that? And you know what? As I was reading Kyle Patrick's message, I was like, you know, 75 range is disgusting. I don't care if it's not our biggest need. When they're coming over from the international market like this, and they come at like a really fair price, you got to take the shot. So thank you for talking some sense into me on that. I have offered him out here at 5 years, 50 mil. Right now he favors the offer. Maeda didn't like the $3 million offer. He's now up around 5. I will say though, I'm kind of glad that he turned down that offer, because now with Jackson Kowar on board, I'm a little less interested in Maeda. Like he's solid, 50, 55, 50 with 65 stam, fan favorite with work ethic. I love all that. That's great. But I don't know. Do we really need him now? I'm dubious on it right now. Wencio Perez was obviously our guy before, and I guess we just non-tendered him. We were going to try to bring him back, and now he's trying to ask for a bunch more money or something. He doesn't want to do a minor league deal. Okay, fine. I was just bringing you back from organizational depth as a switch hitter, somebody that is a true current Tiger. I figure I'll bring him around, but if he wants to get a bunch of money from it and get on the 40-man and all that, it's not going to happen. Harrison Bader, I got him on a minor league $1.5 million major league offer here. So that's the minor league where he's down there for 30 days, but if you don't call him up, he becomes a free agent, or he comes up and makes 1.5 mil. I've had bad history with those where sometimes I forget the guy and he just fades off into the free agent pool, and I'm like, dang it, what did I do? I've had it happen with like quality international free agents. So generally, I feel like if we get Bader here, I'll probably just put him on the roster right away, because he's a right-handed outfielder with great defense. Like that is a need, so he might just make it immediately. Then we've got Logan Allen. He's 45s down the line with 60 stamp, but he's a spark plug with high work ethic at 27 years old. So I figure as a minor league deal, he can be somebody in AAA. Nick Madrigal is a captain, and putting him in AAA on a minor league deal as a captain, I think makes a lot of sense if we can get him at that cost. Ricardo Sanchez is a 40, 55, 55 pitcher with good stamina at 55. 27 years old, lefty, another organizational guy that I think could fit really nicely at AAA. And then Maeda, Mendosa, I mentioned. Oh, Bubic, Chris Titscratch here. Oh yeah, I haven't even put in his nickname. I wish that if you change somebody's nickname, there was like an option for those to like carry across all your saves. But yeah, Bubic, Titscratch, you get it. He was just kind of depth filler here. And again, adding Coar, his former teammate, by the way, also mitigates the real need for him, especially now that he's looking to get beyond a minor league deal. Wait, no, I did bump it. Never mind. I'm full of shit here. He came back wanting more money off the minor league, and he does want 1.2 for a major league deal. I guess I did cave. I forgot about that. I thought I was pushing away from him, but it turns out I've come back around. I guess because he can go to the minors, right? Like, so he's not further cramming our major league roster full of pitchers that we need to finagle. It made it easier. So we come back to Maeda here, and we look, first off, okay, the mood has improved. It had gotten a little sour because I made him some offers in the $4 million range, in the $4 to $4.6 million range, I should say, and he wasn't liking any of them, and he was red-faced for a moment. I simmed about a week to get to the winter meetings. It looks like cooler heads have prevailed, and we're back here. Now, he's looking for 5.3 mil. That's actually really fine still, because his initial demand that we saw was about 7, and even that, if we're being fully honest, is totally fine too. But again, it comes back to need. Do we need to do that? Don't forget we got Elpidio Perez in a early offseason trade for Pedro Garcia and Casey Mize, mostly for Mize. They're buying low on Mize here with the injury and hoping that he comes back nicely, and we had to throw in Pedro Garcia as a little extra sprinkle there. But I think Perez could be awesome for us. He does have 35 stamps, so he might be a 4-inning guy, but that's a gamble I'm willing to take. So who else did we get? We got one other guy early. Oh, Odaner Mosqueda, picked up off of waivers. Lefty with 60, 55, 50. That's a nice little piece for free. Is that all we got early on here? I felt like we made another move earlier on that I'm blanking on. Let me go back to November real quick. We did make a second deal. I knew it. It was for Modion. That's right. Part of the problem there is I have Modion in so many damn sims that I see him and I'm like, oh, he's been with me forever because I get him all the time. So I forgot that he's new. He's with our Vancouver Cougars too, our Vancougars, if you will, dominating. So we brought him in as well in the Aaron Savali deal. So, we brought in some pitchers because you really can't have too much. As much as I've talked about, hey, we're in a good spot, we're a little, we got a few extras, you still can just not have too many. So we'll see how that's all going. That's our free agent check-in right now. I'm still debating on whether or not we go back to Maeda. I don't know. I kind of want him because it'll also boost the fan interest, which I'm still looking to do. We're only at a 70. So if I can get a guy that I like and I think he can bring value to us and we get the supplemental bonus, then I'm all for it. Let me go back here. I was going to go, the one thing I don't want to do is give him a guaranteed starting rotation role. If that's a deal breaker for him, then I don't think we're going to be able to work out, because I can't guarantee that. I just can't. He's got starting capability for sure, 50, 55, 50 with 65 stamp. Absolutely. But you know me, I'm not fully committed to a rotation there. We're moving guys in and out. Got to be able to move on a dime and head over to the bullpen. And I know he's had that in his history. I talked about that last time out, about how the Dodgers actually used to kind of manipulate him because of his contract clause. Based on appearances, they would send him to the bullpen late in the season. We wouldn't do anything like that unless we do a vesting option. No, I don't know. But maybe we offer him a little bit more, 5.69 mil, but without a promised role. And let's see if he does that. Now, that'd be, one of maybe two medium-ish moves that we have left. If you think about a $5-6 million guy is like a medium type player like Maeda, then we have 6.1 left in the tank if we do this. Let's see if he's interested. He's saying 5.5, but he wants that starter role. I tell you what, now he's angry, so this might be our last salvo. Shoot. All right, Scooble is 1,000% locked. Let's put these in order of their lockedness. Jackson Jobe, Aaron Ashby coming off the excellent season. Modeon, I think yes. And then you got Enriquez here, who's probably just better as a reliever. He's sitting in that 6th spot right now as kind of our next man up. I'm fine with him in the bullpen. But then you got Elpidio. Now, the tough part is with the 35 stamina, and I've mentioned this a bunch, is that we just don't know, is that a guy who can consistently get 5 innings and he's kind of like 5 and dive, or is he more of a 3 to 5 inning guy where some nights he's getting run out of there pretty early and you're in some trouble? Or is he one of the unicorn 35 staminas that can get 6 innings consistently? Those guys do happen. They're rare on the 35 stamina, but they do happen. I don't know which one he is. Obviously, if he isn't one of the ones that can consistently get 5, I should say, then he is a bullpen piece for us and a stopper at that, don't get me wrong. But that would leave a spot open for Maeda. So, man, I just don't know. Well, let's do this. Let's move over to our pending deal right now that I'm looking at. I think I want to do, but I wonder if maybe we could package a couple pitchers in that deal instead of the guy that we're looking to give. So enough alluding to it. Let's get to it here. It is a deal with the Washington Nationals, who are rebuilding, and they're offering us 3 young bats for Colt Keith, including 2 prospect outfielders and Gabriel Arias. Now, Arias was who I came asking for. They wanted Keith. I added Jeremy De La Rosa, and they said yes. I'm like, okay, great. Greedy Gus stepped in, added Christian Hamilton. They still said yes. And I'm sitting here like, I think we have to do this. I kind of follow in the footsteps of my boy P.F. Holden, running a wonderful Tiger series right now, by the way, great guy. And I like to, kind of keep the original guys around when I'm doing sims as much as I can. It's not a set in stone thing. I traded Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo like 9 seconds after starting my Cincinnati sim because they both have like 35 movement and they just weren't going to survive in that park. But where I can, I like to keep, current Tigers because we want to win with some of their guys. And I do like Colt Keith in real life too. I'm excited to see what his bat can bring to the Tigers. But I mean, come on. I think he's being treated like a star level talent here in this offer. And, I'm not sure that he's quite there. He's, nice solid player, 55s in the contact gap and home run, and then 50 on the I and avoid K, number 93 prospect. Got a little taste of the majors this year. Didn't do too much with it. Not worried about that. Kind of your Daniel Murphy type utility guy in that he can't really play any of the spots, but he kind of hangs out at any of them so you can get the bat in the lineup. And then his speed is nothing to write home about. And so we currently have him penciled in at first, but we have Torque, who's right now at DH. We could just move him into the permanent first base, which I have no problem with. That's another Tiger. And an even better one, of course. So we could do that, and then, I don't even know if we bring up anybody to take that spot, but we have guys that we're trying to sign in free agency, like Harrison Bader, or we could bring up Justin Henry Malloy again. We have spots that we can replace Cole Keith. And I think what's really doing it for me, well, first off, Arias was who I wanted because of his defense. He's not that far off of Keith with the bat. Now, he is worse, okay? I don't want to overstate it. He loses 10 contact, 5 gap, 5 homer, equal I, and 5 avoid K. Those add up enough to where it's a difference. It's a real difference. But I don't think it's as big of a difference as his advantage defensively, which is colossal. He can play all over the infield, and he can train up to be a pretty solid corner outfielder with 55s down the line with his range, error, and arm. So, you're talking 65 range on the infield. I frankly would have been open to doing a 1-for-1 with these two. And you're going to throw me 2 outfield prospects, both of whom have 60 range. Jeremy De La Rosa, a solid 50s down the line bat, except for the 40 avoid K. He does have a little work ethic at 22, so he might just kind of, struggle to really develop. But I've seen him become a stud for the Nats in a lot of different sims. I've also seen him flame out too. Can't just talk about the good and pretend that it's never been crappy. But okay, we'll take a shot. And then Christian Hamilton, also 60 range. He's only 18. He's a second-round pick from this past season. He's got a great plate profile potential, 60 on both of them. Only 50, 45, 35 on the contact gap and home run. But okay, you give me great plate skills, strong speed profile, and quality defense on a corner, and capable in center, but not ideal. That's pretty good. Again, I reiterate, Arias for Keith is pretty fair. Throwing in one of the prospects really gets me going. And then you throw in both of them, and I'm like, how do I not do this? How do I not do this? Scott Harris is not interested, which does surprise me, but I don't always listen to my guy on these fronts. Maybe we go for a pitcher. I'm looking at Jeffrem Leon, a guy we had in, maybe this was Cincinnati as well, the Cincinnati sim that I referenced earlier. He became a stud. He really panned out for them. It's funny, I can remember, you don't always remember every random prospect that pops off to be great. But for some reason, I can remember a lot of Nats ones. I've seen Jeremy De La Rosa become a superstar. I've seen Jeffrem become an ace. And I saw a guy down here that they have who is not slated to do anything right now. He'd have to really develop. But Manuel Pena, where is he? Oh, is he not here? Maybe he's on a different team. Is he original? Oh, okay, he's a D-back. Pardon me. Never mind. This is the guy I was thinking of. He got traded to the Nats in my Cincinnati universe and became literally one of the league's best players, like a top 5 player. So I thought he was an original Nat. And I'm like, they always seem to develop, one of their guys up into a superstar beyond a James Wood or a Hassel, or in this case, Chase Dollander. But anyway, I think it's enough dilly-dallying. I think we got to do this deal. I like Cole Keith. I'm excited that he could become like a really solid, 115 to 125 WRC plus type of guy, delivering 3 WAR a year type at peak. He's only 23. But I think Arias can get you a different 3 WAR with a defensive focus, and I get 2 outfield bats. And I just got done talking about how our system sucks. So I think we got to do this. Cole Keith, he got home. So now we bring up Arias, put him there. We put Torque in. I think we might move McKinstry to DH? I mean, because Torque's not a bad first baseman. And first base defense, I mean, it could be McKinstry. Like, I don't mind if it's McKinstry and Torque stays at DH. But I tell you what, because the game does give the 10% hitter penalty to DH, because that's an observed decline that full-time DHs take. They're about 10% worse than when they play in the field. So the game does apply that, by all accounts. At least that's what I've been told by the devs. So, you know, your best hitters can overcome it. I mean, we saw them in real life overcome it. Guys like David Ortiz, Edgar Martinez, and many, many, many others. But I don't want Torkelson to always be having to deal with that. So we will kind of have him, you know, bouncing in and out, and he and McKinstry can kind of share it. Now, we don't need to set that game thing up right now like I'm doing. It's not mission critical. We'll remember it closer to the season starting, but that's probably how we'll play it. And this is what our lineup's looking like right now. And the defense is strong with McKinstry, Watanabe, Arias, and Baez. Baez is still bringing high quality defense. That's it, but at least that's part of it. Then in the outfield, we have Baddoo, Parker Meadows, who's a god, and Riley Green. Our defense is on point, y'all. And it's coming off of a strong season where we were first in defensive efficiency and second in zone rating. So we're just making it better. Defense is volatile anyway, so you don't want to overly trust. A previous season's performance, because it can be noisy. It can be bouncing around there. But with this crew that we're putting in, I think we have a chance at being, you know, a top defensive team yet again. Against righties, or lefties rather, maybe we just go Arias at first. I mean, that wastes his defense though. Maybe Watanabe learns first. He's 6 feet tall. I think that's the cutoff, right? Or no, McKinstry's still in. No, we'll just flop. We'll just switch them. I guess the question is, do we want to play McKinstry against lefties? Again, we can deal with that later. I don't need to be making the opening day lineup right now. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So what we want to do now as we continue is let's get to the Rule 5. And maybe we can get up to the international free agents signing here. And we'll see where that's at and then kind of go from there. So first things first, who do we have that's eligible for the Rule 5? Do we need to protect anybody? We got Mario Feliciano, who is a high work ethic, spark plug, backup catcher type, but he's a 50 ability. I feel like if somebody takes him from us, I'm shrugging for those of you that aren't looking at that are second screening it. I'm just like, okay, you know, we're not going to get bent out of shape if that happens. Oh yeah, I got to move Christian Hamilton to our top prospects list. Take him off the draft targets. And then where did they put Jeremy De La Rosa? Where'd you go? You know what? Let's just go to his page and find him. We'll go to Arias, then to De La Rosa. Oh, they put him in the Dominican League. Yeah, don't do that. He'll go back to AA for now. You know, he wasn't great there. We'll give him an opportunity, maybe see if he can get going there and then jump up to AAA at some point during this season. Let's see if they got him starting. They do. Out in left field. That works. Okay, cool. All right, so let's move forward. Oh, wait, let me go back to this real quick. So we're not worried about Feliciano. We're not worried about Eliezer Alfonso, who's also a backup catcher, by the way. He's 55-55. At least. We have him playing first in the minors because we had too many catchers. Meh. Elvis Alvarado could get scooped. He throws 98 to 100 with 55, 60, 45 ratings at age 25. But he's a true reliever with 30 stamps, so I'm probably going to leave him unless he comes back. I mean, because our 40 is full. I should point that out right now, too. Our 40 is full, so unless he comes back with an improved profile, on this scouting report that I just did, then I don't think that we're going to make a move. Oh, wow. Jeremy De La Rosa is Rule 5 eligible. I don't think he's good enough for a team to take him. I will risk it, though. I will. Because even if he gets taken, Arias and Hamilton for Keith is still fair. So I don't want to take, our 3 lowest guys by rating are Malloy, Morion, and Uribe. I don't want to take any of them off. I don't see any of the 45s I want to take off. You know what? I am going to designate Pacheco. With this injury, he's already fringe at 65, 45, 40. He still has 7 months left on a torn flexor tendon. If somebody scoops him right now, they can rehab him. Uceta, I'm going to hold on a little bit more because he does have a better profile, 65, 55, 45 with 40 stamina. It could also take a hit. He'll be age 27 by the time he comes back in 8 months. But we're only needing the one spot right now. I just want to have a spot open in case somebody cool jumps out to us in the Rule 5. I hope it's not a pitcher, though, because that's not our biggest need. We did not get a good Roberto Campos run out. He's a, very raw but high upside potential prospect for the Tigers organization right now. I've seen him develop into a stud in Sims. I've seen him be a middling, and I've seen him flop. I've seen the whole gamut with Roberto Campos. I was hoping that we might get one of the badass ones, though. All right, Rule 5 time. Take a drink here. All right. Ahmed Rosario coming back to talk to us. Now, I got to be honest, this Arias deal probably hurts our interest in you, Rosario. Now, in fairness to him, he actually was open to the deal I had offered. As you can see here, $6.5 million this year with a $10 million team option. This was just finagled this way to save money. It's basically a 1-year, $8 million deal, but 1.5 of it is deferred into the buyout, and it just saved us a little bit of money so that we can maybe make another move. And the idea was maybe Maeda and Rosario are our 2 guys that we spend the rest of this money on, but with Arias in town, I just don't think it makes sense. So, I'm sorry, Rosario. Good work ethic, 60 range, solid fielder, can play a little outfield, good speed, bad control guy with 55 contact, 55 avoid K, but everything else is pretty light outside of some gap power at 50. I'm good. Alex Lang scouting report came in. I think he just took a hit. He did. 10 movement drop. Damn. That stinks. What's this trade here? Oh, Durangelo is probably on my list. Yep. Because he has an amazing name. I really cannot pronounce that, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful or shitty, but Cijntje is tough pronunciation. I've never just, that letter combination in that order has me tripped up, so I'll just call him by his first name, Durangelo, which is a kick-ass name too. So he just has a badass name in general. But he was dealt from Minnesota to the Yankees for Nestor Cortez, along with another guy. So Nasty Nestor going over to Minnesota. He's still pretty solid, 50, 45, 60, coming off a very capable innings eating type year. 173 innings with a 4.12 ERA and a 123 whip. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's continue on. We're almost at the end of the winter meetings. Got some emails. Conrad Kaysen got scouted. And his potential contact went down. Cool. Elvis Alvarado gets scouted. And his overall potential go down for no reason. Colorado, Minnesota make a deal. We got Ryan McMahon going for Alex Scherf and David Hogg II. Is he the guy? Yep. I remembered that name. So he was a draft target. That's why we got this email. I'm always trying to figure out, why are we getting this email? Somebody's on a short list. Ryan McMahon has become a bit of a strikeout problem with a 35 strikeout rate and only 45 contact. I don't know about that one, Minnesota. I like the Nestor pickup, but this one, a bit more dubious on. I love the high work ethic and the great defense, but a little bit suspect there. And then Alex Scherf. Oh, Scherf's a beast. But he's not going to Minnesota. He's going to Colorado. That's a nice pickup for them. 70-70-40 from the right-hander with 35 stamina. He's a side armor, though, so he's probably got, well, actually not that bad of a split. He loses 10 stuff, 5 movement, but he's still 65-70-40 against lefties. That's not too bad. This guy could be nasty. He's coming off an ugly AAA season, but a 4.14 BABIP is pretty silly. 1.7 homer 9 with a 70 movement is vile. He should be better. Well, as I say, even in Colorado, but maybe not, because Colorado is such a difficult place to pitch. But all in all, not a bad deal there. Sorry to get sidetracked on it. We just got the email about it. I figure, I'll take a look. All right, Rule 5 coming up here. And let's see what Mark Connor found in the Dominican. He got Luis Ramos. 17. Has a tinge of upside. At least he doesn't have like the worst personality ever and everything. I hate when they say, "Oh, I found this guy," and there's just like literally nothing, and you're just thinking, in what universe is this guy gonna develop anything? But when they're 17 and they're raw, you just never really know. But there are some times where I just flat out cut the international find because they're like their potential is like 25, 30, 20 with all orange personality, meaning, they've got the low work ethic, they got low adaptability, no leadership, their high financial ambition. I'm just like, what's this guy ever going to be? So that guy, Ramos, is not like that, though. So we'll keep him around. Let's take a look at the Rule 5 here. We'll sort by potential. Let's look at the pitchers first. Even though that's not what we're looking for, the reason I go there first is because the pitching part of the draft is usually the richer portion. And we see that right away. They're going to tempt us, y'all, with 5 greens, including Gavin Stone, who is a must draft if he makes it to us. I'm sorry. We have to. 65, 55, 50. That's as a reliever. Let's put him at starter, and he's still 60, 55, 50. Yeah, we're 1,000% taking him if he makes it. The Dodgers are crazy. And you know what? No. Let's see something. I'm gonna be a nice guy. If the Dodgers have a 40-man spot, I'm putting him on it. No, they are full, but I mean, come on. Hunter Wood, this 31-year-old. No. I'm gonna correct the computer on this one because I think this one's really dumb. And every once in a while I do this during the Rule 5 because I'm just like, give me a break. And I know it's the Dodgers, they don't really need help, but he's just so clearly a good player. Even if you just go by OSA, come on. And the Dodgers would never make such a blunder either. Not when they have somebody who's so clearly worse and a billion years older on their roster. So no, we're going to help them out there. Let's see what these other greens look like. We're not going to do it for every single one, but that one was just too good. Hayden Younger, I see this guy pop up on occasion. Now he's got a partially torn UCL, 3 to 4 months. Totally get it. It's a risk. Probably not a risk we'll take because of the situation we're in, but if we were further behind the curve and still kind of building up the team, then we would definitely take this gamble. A bad team definitely should. Ryan Cusick for Oakland is a 65, 55, 40 with 50 stam. Oakland, do I need to help you? Did you poop your pants, Oakland? Let me see. Go to their organization. They got 40, but they have Derek Solemn on here, who is a literal 25 out of 25 on their 40-man roster already. Stop it. Whoops. Stop it right now. Ridiculous. So we'll take him off, and we'll put Cusick on. And I know I'm taking from our potential fruits in this draft, but we don't want to just rob the computer, Again, sometimes we'll have a trade where we get over on them because they're valuing guys differently. That's fine. I don't need everything to be against us either. But sometimes particularly with the Oakland one. The Dodgers, they're smart enough that I shouldn't have to help them, but well, I just felt like that was the right move. Frias with the D-backs. I mean, he's good, but he's also 35 stamp. He's fringe enough that, okay, I'm not going to fix that for them. And then Jordan Hicks is the other guy. He's still only 28. That blows my mind. He's been around for so long. When did he first come up? Was he like 21? Yeah, 21. So yeah, he's been around for 6 years and he's still just 28. That's crazy. Okay, but nobody else we're going to fix. Just a couple fixes there because the guys were too good. Kevin Alcantara, I saw him at Fall League when I went out to Arizona last weekend, or the weekend before, I guess. Awesome. Just really impressive guy. I saw him in the home run derby. Tall, lanky guy right now, 6'6", 195. Doesn't have to like fill out crazily, right? Because he might be somebody like me that, you know, you can't keep the weight on your frame, even though you got a frame that if it filled out, it would be sweet. Not saying I could have become a pro baseball player or anything, but I'm just saying, like, you look at him and you're like, okay, he's long and lean. If he puts a few pounds on, gets into some power, he could be an absolute god. But even as is, he looks dope. Just really impressive guy. Seemed ready to, you know, kind of continue his development with the Cubs, and we'll see where he goes from here. But anyway, I didn't swag on 100 with him too. He was just the coolest guy there. It seemed like actually a bunch of them were actually pretty cool. They were really relishing it. You know, it's just an Arizona Fall League home run derby, so I don't think they were like overplaying it and pretending that they were too cool for school. They were all like being really friendly with each other and stuff like that. I'm just saying you could tell that Alcantara was liked, though, at least from the small interactions I was seeing. It seemed like he was a good dude. But anyway, are we going to take him if he gets to us? Maybe, because he kind of fills that righty outfielder hole that we're talking about. He's a much better hitter than Bader, but nowhere near the defender. Do we have room for both is the question. I'm not sure we do, but maybe that's, you know, stack talent and then figure it out type of deal. Let's see if he's even there. We'll sim through the top 10 one by one, and then we'll go right to our pick at 24. With the first pick, Oakland takes Juan Brito. Okay, that's decent. 23-year-old, kind of 50s and 55s all over the place. Not bad, not bad. Milwaukee takes nobody. Colorado passes. So do the Royals, Pirates, White Sox, Walgreens, the Angels, the Marlins, and now the Guards. Okay, nobody's really drafting. Let's go to our pick. Skip to our pick. Nobody else is drafted. Wow. Okay, so we have our pick of the litter here. Wait, they cut Cusack again? All right, well, fuck them. If they're that stupid. How? The computer's acting even in the midst of it. That's really interesting. Did they put that solemn guy back on their team? No, they put another scrub. What is their problem? Y'all, I don't understand this. Whatever, I tried, you know? You can't fix stupid. If they want to do that, that's their prerogative. All right, scouting director thinks we should take Kyle Farmer. Absolutely not. That's a horrendous notion. I'm thinking, God, we should not take a pitcher. I really like Joey Cantillo in real life, though, so I kind of want to take him. But is that really what we should do? I don't think so. I don't think that's the best deployment of our resources right now. And again, then we're bound by the Rule 5 situation where we can't move him. Does he have options? He does have an option year left. You know what? I'd be open to trading for. Oh, we'll claim him. Yeah, we'll claim him. I got no problem with that. Then he can at least be sent out. Frankly, looks like we could do that with anybody that's of interest here. Not so much the hitters. Looks like a lot of the pitchers that are in the Rule 5 are also being waived right now. We could feasibly claim Frias. All right. I'm not going to give Frias because obviously I did an Arizona sim. We had him there. He was great. I picked him up in the Cincinnati sim. And as I kind of mentioned this throughout this entire sim, I get my crutch players, and I'm not going to avoid all of them. I just picked up Morion in the offseason, but we're not going to get every single one every time. So I'm going to let Frias ride there, even though normally that would be a snap pick for me. Montez de Oca is interesting, but he is fragile. And again, I really don't want to take a Rule 5 pitcher right now because I don't want to be locked into having to keep them on the roster. We need flexibility. This Noah Denoyer is kind of interesting too. But let's see if there's any hitter we want. If not, maybe we'll just skip. Oh wait, we're still on the waiver wire. Let's go back to the draft. What about Alcantara? What's he up to? What can we trade for him? It'll cost something. Might still be worth it. He's got 2 option years left. Is it worth it for Jared Schuster there? I saw Schuster. And I wonder if that's just a good 1-for-1. Because we are starting to develop a little pitching depth, as I've mentioned. And we could use some bats, and we're trying to get some prospect bats. I think Alcantara is a few years younger, 4 years younger. I think this makes some sense. Now, Harris hates this one too. And I don't really understand him on some of the dislike for these deals. I'd rather not make the deal, but it's not a fireable offense. I guess that's neutral enough. James Trianto, speaking of the Arizona Fall League, I believe he had a pretty strong fall league. I still remember him becoming a god in my Marlins franchise here on YouTube. One of the top players in the league. Him and was it Christian Hernandez, I think, on the Cubs. They were just a devastating 1-2 punch. Can we get Triantos? No, obviously not. That's a little too much. I think I'm going to do this as is. Actually, we can get Alexander Canario thrown in, but he's out of options. I'd rather not. That's a bigger hassle than it's worth. All right, let's just do 1-for-1 here. Schuster for Alcantara. Solid lefty arm here with Schuster. I remember when we got him, I was like, okay, it's a good deal here for Lorenzen and Melton. But our pitching has jumped since then to the point where I think he's a bit expendable, and I'm going to make that move. Pablo Aliendo, speaking of crutch guys, he ends up in the Rule 5 a lot, and he's got 65 catcher ability, so I get him often. Oof, and we could get him again. Do we dare do it? This ad I might do, because we can put in Anson Araz, who's like just a little bit worse. He's just kind of a little bit worse across the board. I mean, we could throw in any number of kind of smaller pieces here to get the job done. I think I'm going to do it. Oh, Cole Stupp. We might get Cole Stupp right here. Sometimes there's like so many guys, like I can't even investigate all of these guys. I wish that there was like some filtering that we could do here, you know, like an age filter. Give me all the guys that are 24 and older, you know, things like that. But this is such a huge list. There might be somebody worse than Stupp to include, but I already feel pretty good about this deal anyway, that I don't need to nickel and dime for everything, even though that's exactly what I'm doing with the Aliendo piece. But we'll do that like this. 2 for 2, locked. Aliendo does have to go on the 40, but that's okay. Put him in AAA. And now, is he the top catcher? We do have 4 catchers in AAA. It's a little aggro. And they can all catch a bit. That's why Eliezer Alfonso got moved off of catcher. Probably don't need 4 guys there. We're going to have to maybe make a move. Maybe Aliendo goes to AA. Although he got major league time last year. He was dreadful in AAA, though. He's unhappy being here. I don't think he would love going to AA, but I don't think I care. Oh, he's pissed. No, I'm moving back. I'm sorry. I played chicken, and I'm the chicken. No, I'll leave him there. I think I might send down one of these older guys then, and they're not going to love it, but whatever. All right, Julio Rodriguez, he still feels normal, and that works. Now we have 4 catchers here. Okay, we're a little catcher heavy in some spots. Sergio Tapia, can he play anywhere else? No, so he stays, he stays at catcher, but he's going to get demoted. All right. Sorry for the detour there. But yeah, I think we're going to skip the Rule 5 then, because I don't want to be bound by having to keep a guy on the roster all year. I think we need the flexibility a bit more. So, oh shit, we actually do need to put Alcantara on the 40 though, or else we're just going to end up losing him. But that's fine. He has options. It's not so much the 40 spot that we're worried about. So we are kind of using him as a Rule 5 pick. We're just not bound by the Rule 5 restrictions. Okay, cool. So skip and complete the draft. And Luis Torrens was the only other pick besides Juan Brito. I guess they picked him because they lost Pablo Aliendo. The Cubs were the ones that scooped him. So, okay, fine. All right, so the Rule 5 is done. And now we're about 3 weeks away from the international free agent signing starting. But we're coming up on an hour, and I think maybe we can just cap it here. And when the next episode starts, we will be getting right into that. I will sim the requisite 3 weeks to get to that point. We'll get there. We'll finish this offseason up, and then we'll get the season going. So taking another look at these pending offers, let's move a few days and see if some things start to firm up. I'll go like a week or so of game time here real quick as we're kind of finishing. You can see Char there on the dog cam. I kind of brought her in here against her own will, if I'm being honest. She wanted to hang out with Jen and Henry. But, I wanted her to hang out with me. And so I brought her in here. And she pouted for a minute, but then she was fine. She's fine. All right, we did get Canty. No, we didn't. A better, lower-ranked team claimed him. Okay, that's fine. Frankly, it's probably for the better. We just probably don't need him. Aliendo's eye goes up. So that's nice. Cool. Yankees and Marlins swap players. Who's on our list here? Danny Watson. Who's that? Oh, you know what? I don't even have to click on them. I can scroll over, and now it tells you if they're on a short list. But now it's not showing the pop-up. Oh, Maeda went to the Angels. Damn. Okay, well, I sat on my hands a bit with that, and frankly, that's okay. Again, I'm going to reiterate it one more time. I don't want to act like we have the greatest pitching ever that can't be touched and we're the best in the world, OOTP, so don't injure everybody. But we feel good about where we're at with some of our depth. That's all I want. That's the only point I want to make. So not getting Maeda is not the end of the world, is the bottom line there. All right. Well, and we're not going to sign Wenzel. We'll go ahead and take him off the table. So we got 6 guys here that all favor our offer. All but Mendoza will go to the minors. Speaking of Mendoza, his scouting report did come in the first one, and his potential eye went up. So he's a 55 with a 70 potential. Big time improvement potential in his contact at 40 right now with a potential of 55. That's a big gap, though. Like, he needs to show some improvement there. But bottom line, dude is a 2.5 win player just waking up and playing the outfield and running the way he does, even if the bat doesn't come together. But he is already 70 gap, and that should take major advantage of our park. So again, thanks to Kyle in the comments pointing him out and saying I would still go for him, because I took that second look and I was like, you're a gazillion% correct. We did get Freddie Pacheco off the 40, but we still get to keep him, so we can at least see that through after the injury, and hopefully he's fine, but I am nervous about that. And as we approach the new year here, I'll get to the new year, I'll do the international scout, and then we'll call it. Nothing really going on here these last several days. The full, very high report on Mendoza is in. Nothing changed. I'm just really anal about that. I just always want it to be very high, just in case. because, you do another scout and maybe something else changes. Sometimes it changes for the negative, but either way, I want to know. Whatever it is, I want it on very high. All right, 3 more days as we go into the first. Would be nice to see Mendoza sign, like, boom, right in the holiday. Oh my God, literally as I say that. Okay. Sometimes the game listens to us and burns us. Other times it listens to us and has a cool moment like that. Sergio Mendoza on the squad. Oh man, he's so geeked about getting this money that he's dizzy and nauseous. This would have been funnier if it had happened on January 1st, the dizziness and nausea, because then you could say he's just hungover. And maybe he still is, but it would have been a better fit if he's New Year's Day and he's like, whoa, I'm lit. So I think we'll just end on that note. I was going to get to the first, but I was just kind of making up an end point. This is the end point here. Because we do need to finagle some things on our 40. We need to kick somebody off. It might be a 2-for-1 deal. But Sergio Mendoza has joined the squad. And that's going to about do it for our free agents this year too. We still have these guys ready, these two here, Bader and Bubic. But they're not even guaranteed money. Who else did we sign that? Madrigal, put him in AAA. Logan Allen, put him in AAA. We're going to have to bring some guys down too. But yeah, I feel like we're making some moves here. I like where things are going. I'll clean up the minors. I'll try to get those last 2 guys signed. We'll be on the international free agents. And then from there, I might just do the international free agent, international amateur free agents, I should say, on my own. Give you the review of those when we get done. And by the time we come into the next episode, we're going to be at opening day. I think that makes more sense. We've kind of spent a few episodes here on the off season. And because it's not a huge off season in terms of moves and shuffling and everything, there's no need to dwell on it too much longer. So I think next episode, we're going to go ahead and put the bow on this off season. I'll do a review and then we'll get into 2025. But thank you all so much for watching. Please hit a like, hit a subscribe. Let me know what you think. Take care.